In the same year, Bernie Sanders came out of left field and nearly upset heavily favored insider Hillary Clinton for the nomination of the Democratic Party via a campaign that relentlessly described contemporary America as foundering on the rocks. The United States, Sanders contended, had been destroyed except for the wealthiest few. Sanders's backers shouted approval at his flamboyantly downbeat assertions, some every bit as kooky as any by Trump. Sanders proclaimed that Americans are being poisoned by pollutants caused by corporate greed. If our bodies are being poisoned, living longer is a funny way of showing it. Believing things much worse than they are hardly was confined to the United States. Objectively, in 2016, the United Kingdom was in the best condition it has ever been in, judged by strong economic growth, by the lowest unemployment rate of any European Union member, by high levels of personal freedom and public health, by inflation-adjusted per capita income, by almost any other leading indicator. During current generations, no Britons have died in great power European wars versus the 2 million dead and 5 million severely wounded in European wars among recent prior generations. Yet in 2016, British voters angrily demanded separation from the European Union, seeming to believe their tranquil, prosperous polity was down, down, down. The feelings of irate voters are not just some lapse. Voters in the United States and Europe have been barraged with rapid-fire reports of bad news, causing a deep sense that today's society has broken yesterday's promises. It is easy to feel this way, but feeling this way is also a choice. Too often we try to force the world to match our feelings, when we'd be on a more even keel and experience life more fully if instead our feelings matched the world. There are 4 basic types of knowing. One is certainty. We can be certain the sun is 93 million miles from Earth. Another is faith or doubt. We can neither prove nor disprove beliefs about God. A third is opinion. There's no right or wrong on questions such as which beer tastes best, or whether baseball should have the designated hitter rule. Then there is what we want to believe. What we want to believe can upend any degree of evidence, provability, or subjectivity. Trump, Sanders, and the Brexit movement struck a chord because people wanted to believe the worst about society. They wanted to believe the worst, though the United States at the time was in the best condition it had ever been in. The same could be said of the United Kingdom, and the world overall had never been better. Of course, there are many individuals and families experiencing personal, physical, or financial hardship. There never will be a moment when no one is sick, distressed, or broken-hearted. On the whole, though, at no juncture in American history were people better off than they were in 2016. Living standards, per capita income, buying power, health, safety, liberty, and longevity were at their highest, while women, minorities, and gays were free in ways they'd never been before. There had been no juncture in history at which the typical member of the global population was better off either. Consider a metric. During the same period when Trump and Sanders were cheered for saying carnage was everywhere, the misery index, unemployment plus inflation, was at its lowest in half a century, and the lower the better with this metric. Average people get hammered when unemployment and inflation are high at the same time. In 2016, both were unusually low at the same time. Union leaders speak of the 1960s as a golden age for the working man, but the misery index was higher then. Republicans speak of the Reagan presidency as a golden age for families, but the misery index was higher then. Democrats speak of the Bill Clinton presidency as a golden age for prosperity, but the misery index was higher then. If the misery index is the best indicator of conditions for average Americans, and arguably it is, then 2016 was a golden year. Yet voters did not respond.